Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder. Today we're diving into a financial report that might just reveal some hidden gems, or perhaps some not so, great news about Great Southern Bancorp Incorporated. Let's see if this bank is truly great or just, well, Southern. Before we start our deep dive, make sure you're subscribed for more of these straight financial insights. And hey, if you're looking to connect with other finance enthusiasts, our Discord community link is in the description below. Alright, so what we have here is something called a Form 8K. Think of this as the public announcement system for companies when something important happens that investors need to know about right away. It is not a daily newspaper or a weekly magazine, it is more like a breaking news alert. And the big news dropped on October 15th, 2025. What happened on that date? Well, Great Southern Bancorp Incorporated put out a press release. This press release is all about their preliminary financial results. Preliminary means it is not the fully polished audited final numbers yet, but it gives us a pretty good snapshot of how they did financially for the 3 months ending September 30th, 2025. So what did they tell us in this press release that is so important for understanding their results and financial condition? This is where the real meat is. They are giving us the early scoop on how the money was flowing, how profitable they were, and what their overall financial health looked like at the end of the third quarter of 2025. Usually, these reports are packed with numbers, and that is what we want to focus on to see the true story. Now, they also mentioned something called Regulation FD disclosure. This basically means they're making sure all important information is shared broadly, and at the same time, so no one investor gets an unfair advantage. It's all about fairness in how they communicate. And what did they share to comply with this fair disclosure rule? Not just the press release, but also an investor presentation and a look at their loan portfolio. This investor presentation, Exhibit 99.2, is usually a condensed, often more visually appealing way to digest the key financial information. It is designed to highlight the positive aspects and strategic direction. Think of it as the company S highlight reel, and Exhibit 99.3, the loan portfolio that is crucial for a bank. It tells us what kind of loans they've made, how risky they might be, and what the potential for future income is. It's like looking under the hood of their core business. Finally, all these important documents, the press release, the investor presentation, and the loan portfolio details are bundled up and officially filed as exhibits. Exhibit 99.1 is that press release we talked about earlier, the one from October 15th, 2025. Then we have Exhibit 99.2, the earnings presentation. This is where they try to paint a picture of success and growth. And Exhibit 99.3 is the loan portfolio. This is a critical piece for any bank analysis. Now, let's talk about what we can infer from these reveals, even without the full, detailed financial tables being directly presented in this 8K. The fact that they are releasing preliminary results along with an investor presentation and loan portfolio details speaks volumes about what they want the market to focus on. For a bank, the loan portfolio is king. It represents the assets that generate income through interest. A strong, diverse, and well-managed loan portfolio suggests stable revenue and lower risk. Conversely, if their loan portfolio shows a concentration in high risk areas or a significant increase in non-performing loans, that is a major red flag. The investor presentation, while often optimistic, usually contains key financial metrics comparing current performance to prior periods. We would look for things like net interest income, which is the core profit for banks, provision for loan losses, which is money set aside for loans that might default, and net income. When they present this, they are likely trying to show growth in net interest income, prudent management of loan loss provisions, and a healthy bottom line. Let's consider the context here. Great Southern Bancorp Incorporated is a regional bank. Their performance is often tied to the economic health of the areas they serve. Are interest rates rising or falling, and how does that impact their lending and deposit costs? Is the local economy booming, leading to more loan demand and less risk of default? Or is it struggling? These are the background factors that make or break a Bank S results. Now, moving beyond the specific exhibits, what does all this tell us about how Great Southern Bancorp Incorporated is doing? The release of preliminary results suggests they believe the numbers are positive enough to share early. They're really likely trying to get ahead of any market speculation or to set a positive tone before the full audited results are released. However, the devil is always in the details. Without seeing the actual numbers for things like loan growth, deposit growth, and asset quality metrics, it is hard to give a definitive verdict. But we can say this: if the investor presentation highlights strong loan growth and stable or declining loan loss provisions, that is a good sign. If they emphasize efficiency ratios, meaning how much it costs them to generate revenue, and that ratio is improving, that is also positive. A critical indicator they likely would have touched upon is net interest margin. This is the difference between the interest income they earn on loans and investments and the interest they pay on deposits. A healthy and expanding net interest margin is a sign of a strong lending and deposit strategy in the current rate environment. If this margin is shrinking, it could indicate increased competition for deposits or pressure on lending rates. We also need to think about the broader banking landscape. Are larger banks consolidating and gaining market share, putting pressure on smaller entities like Great Southern Bancorp, Incorporated? Are there new fintech competitors emerging? A company's strategy outlined in its investor presentation should ideally address these competitive pressures and show how they plan to maintain or grow their market position. So based on the structure and content of this Form 8, Great Southern Bancorp Incorporated seems to be proactively communicating positive financial results from their third quarter. They are providing investors with information that likely aims to showcase strength in their core lending business and overall financial performance. The strategic inclusion of the investor presentation and loan portfolio details suggests they want to emphasize operational efficiency and the quality of their assets. My take is that Great Southern Bancorp Incorporated is likely presenting a picture of stability and perhaps modest growth. However, the real test will be in the detailed financial statements that accompany these preliminary announcements later. We will be looking for evidence of sustainable earnings growth, robust asset quality, and a solid capital position. The risks for a bank like this often revolve around economic downturns that could lead to higher loan defaults, and changes in interest rates that could compress their profit margins. Opportunities typically lie in expanding into new markets, developing new product offerings, or leveraging technology to improve efficiency and customer service. Without the precise figures, it is a bit like judging a book by its cover, but the act of filing this 8K with these specific exhibits suggests a confidence in their recent performance. Alright, that is our initial decode of this Great Southern Bancorp Incorporated filing. What is your take on these filings and what they signal for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments if this analysis was valuable. Hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching. See you next time.